So just recently, your library has bought access to this ClinicalKey Student platform. So I'm just going to show you, I'm not going to do death by PowerPoint, I'll just show you a few brief slides and then we'll do a live demo and show you how to get registered and how to get onto the platform and how to use all the different functionality, okay? So to access ClinicalKey, the first thing you must do is register, because it's a platform that you can personalise with all your own notes and highlights and bookmarks, and you can share things as well and make presentations. So you need to be registered so that you can do all the personalisation. So to get to ClinicalKey, you go to the library blog page and just log in here at ClinicalKey. It's now called ClinicalKey Student rather than ClinicalKey Medical Education. So, but you'll see that when you go into your blog page. So when you go in there, you'll come to the registration page, and it's fairly simple registration. You need to click whether you're a student or faculty, first name, last name, your institutional email address, and choose a password and just tick the boxes there and click register. So it's pretty simple. And once you've registered, you'll come to the login page. So just don't save your username and password if you're using it on a shared computer, but you just need to log in with your email address and your password. So it's pretty simple. So another way of getting to it is that if you search for a book in your AURIA system, your library discovery system, so I've looked for Gray's Anatomy and or arterial blood gases made easy, and it's found it in the ClinicalKey Student collection, and then you can click on that and then it will also take you straight to the registration page again, and so you can then register. Once you've registered, then obviously you just need to log in every time. So when you come to the home screen, it's a wee bit busy, there's a few things going on, so I'll just explain what each of them is. You've got all the most popular titles listed at the bottom, so you'll recognise a lot of these, I'm sure. Gray's Anatomy for Students, Medical Physiology, Davidson's Principles and Practice of Medicine. So on the home page you've got your search box, which is just like any other search box, like on Amazon or whatever. You've got your bookshelf, which is where you keep all the books that you want to use regularly. So the one advantage of this is that, you know, with libraries, maybe only 2 or 3 students may be able to use one book at a time, but with ClinicalKey Student, every student can use every book all the time for as long as the university is subscribed to it. So it's, you know, you don't have to wait or get waitlisted to borrow a book from the library. You can also browse resources, so you can browse through the books or the images or the videos. There's about, in the English book list, there's about 230 different titles, so they're all of the Elsevier medical titles, and a lot of those are clinical titles and a lot of them are basic science titles, so they'll be useful to not just to med students but to students who are studying other things like other health sciences or nursing, etc. There's about 85,000 images, which are all copyright cleared. So for faculty in particular who want to do presentations or lectures to students, they know that they can safely use all of those images without having to worry about the copyright. So I'll show you how to use those later on. And there's about 850 videos as well, and a lot of them are, you know, clinical examination type videos that show students how to examine patients. And over on this side here, we've got the help desk. If you have any access issues, you can just click on that and get support. There's 3 different ways of contacting the help desk. You can do live chat, email or phone. So it's a UK phone number, but the live chat is very quick as well, and there's always somebody there 24/7 to answer your questions. And these are just your account details here, so you can change your username, password and so on in there. Okay. So when you're using the search button, you can you type in a word and it anticipates what you're looking for. I've typed in migraine there, which is, you know, a quite common condition, and it brings up all these different suggestions of things that you might be looking for, things that other people have looked for in association with migraine. and just click the search button, and it comes up with a variety of hets here. You've got 902 results for migraine, so there's a lot, and you can filter these by the content type, so either books or images, and you can filter by specialty. There's about 50 different specialties, from anatomy right through to, not zoology, I can't think of one that starts with the last letter of the alphabet, but so then you've got your book content in the middle here, so you can go straight to this chapter of this book that talks about migraine and other headaches in that particular book, or you've got a quick access summary on the right hand side there. Now we've got 1,500 of those in ClinicalKey Student, and they're basically little summaries of common diseases or conditions like migraine, diabetes, asthma, etc. And you can click on view full topic and you can read everything about that condition or disease, and it's all set out really well in from diagnosis right through to treatment, etc. So I'll show you that when we do the live demo. Please interrupt me if anyone's got any questions as well, so I'm very happy to be stopped and diverted. So when you go to Browse Resources up here, so you can choose books, images or videos. The books are all listed alphabetically. If you scroll down on this left-hand side here, you can choose the letter of the alphabet that you want to look for a specific book. So if, for example, you wanted to look for McLeod's Clinical Examination, you could just click on the letter M and go straight to it. So if you want to browse images, again, you can filter by specialty down here. So if you're looking for something in like anaesthesia, for example, you can filter out all the other results just by clicking anaesthesia, and it reduces the number of images available. And you can also browse by videos. Again, you can filter by specialty. And I'll play you a video later on. So you can also do presentations. Now, students often use images in their assignments and so on. And I know that faculty use the images a lot in their lectures and presentations. So again, you can filter by specialty. So I've filtered on dermatology here. All you need to do is just click on an image and it will open up in a separate tab. And you can then either view it in the source where it comes from, so see where it came from in the original book, or add it to a presentation. I'm not sure what's happened with my little note there. It seems to have been corrupted somehow. So yeah, so if you click view it in the source, it will take you to the book, and if you want to use it in a presentation, then you can choose some of the text that comes from around that image in the book and use that in your presentation as well. So I've created one for limb shopping last week when I was in Sweden. So I just created a new presentation and just added that image to it. So if you then go back to the chapter of the book that we came to when we first did our search on migraine, I clicked on the chapter. You've got all these little hyperlinks down the side here on the left-hand side. Every section of the chapter has an individual hyperlink, so you can jump straight to a certain section if you want to, like, for example, unwanted effects of migraine or whatever. If you then think, I can use this book again, I'm going to use this quite regularly, you can save the book to your bookshelf by just clicking on Launch Bookshelf on the right-hand side. So the bookshelf is where you keep all the books that you want to use regularly, where you can make your own notes, you can share your notes and highlights with other students, or faculty can share notes with their students or with other faculty. So when you click on Launch Bookshelf, it opens up in a separate tab, and you can see I've made a highlight here, and it opens it up, and you've got various sections of your bookshelf. So I'll just quickly go through them. You've got the table of contents, your search button, you've got a notebook, you've got images where you can see all the images from that book, and you can also create flashcards. You've got a little bookmark here where you can just bookmark a page if it's something you want to go back to. You've got this little thing here the little ribbon along. That if you know which page you want to go to, you can just drag it along to a specific page. On the right-hand side, you've got the page URL, which is every page has its own distinct URL, so you can use that as a link if you need to in an assignment or whatever. We've got your citations icon, so we've got 3 different types of citations at the moment that you can use in assignments. So we've got MLA, APA and Harvard. Currently looking at adding Vancouver as a citation method. You've got your font size, so you can enlarge the font. I always enlarge the font because I get old eyes, you know. And then you've got your highlighters. Now when you look at the fast highlighting button there, you can see I've got a whole bunch of highlighters. Well, the default is about, I think it's 2 highlighters when you first register, but we've got about 10 different colours, and you're not restricted to 10 different highlighters, so because you can call them anything you like. So you can have a pink one called anatomy, and then you could have a pink one called microbiology, or you can name them whatever you like. You know, they've got funny names like rad red and groovy green, but you don't have to keep those, don't worry. Okay. So this is what my home page looks like. I've got quite a few books on my home page. So the most recent book you've looked at is always the one at the top, and then you've got all the others here that you just scroll through. And so it's very easy to just quickly go to whichever book you want. You've got a tool button up the top there, which has all your highlighters and your sharing functionality. And the mobile app, which is, it's brilliant. And the thing about it that's the cleverest thing is it actually reads the books to you. So for students whose first language is not English, maybe, who don't read that well in English, it'd be great for them. Students with dyslexia, a student at Manchester University said to me, I'm dyslexic, this is going to be really helpful. And you just plug your headphones in, you can listen to the book being read to you, it highlights the text as you go. So I'll show you on my mobile shortly. So, and it's just so portable and you can use it anywhere. Okay, so are we ready? Is everyone registered? Anyone who's got a laptop here? I think if we just go to the registration page. Let's find. Yeah. Okay, so I'll just go to the login page. So. Is the oh, there it is. Things are in a different place on the keyboard here from what I'm used to. Okay, do you want me to log in as you?
You can do that if you want. Yeah.
Okay.
Or,
Shall I log in as myself?
yeah, I can do that.
Okay. Where's the at button? Oh, there it is. Oh, is it alt? Is it alt? No. The at sign.
Yes.
So when you log in, you won't get this. You won't get this option. This is just because I've got a lot of different access. So don't worry about this. So here we are. We're on the home page, on the home stretch. Okay. So if we want to look for something, we might do migraine again. And we'll follow a couple of links that we had in there. So you can see we've got all these results, and I can filter on images if I want to, and then filter again on internal medicine, for example. So then it brings up all these images. So I'll show you how to just click on an image, and if we just view it in the source, it'll take us straight to the book and where we find that image. So there it is. So if you wanted to use that image in a presentation and you wanted some text to sort of, for context around the image, you could use some of the text that's actually in the book around the image. Okay, we can go back to the image.
Excuse me, the search engine, is that only appropriate for the titles you have downloaded?
No.
No.
No,
so you don't have to download the titles?
No.
No, okay.
No, so with the search function, it will look everywhere in all of the books that are on the platform.
Okay.
Yeah, but within the bookshelf, the search sections of the bookshelf will search your bookshelf, or they'll search the books that you've downloaded. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I see when I do a search on this iPhone. I only get the
books you've
results from
downloaded.
the books that I have downloaded.
That's right. Yeah. But if you're searching on the platform itself on your desktop,
Okay.
it will search everything. Yeah. Okay. So we'll just make a presentation with this. So we can create a new presentation. I'll just call it NTNU and save that. So we'll add it. You can either add and view the presentation, or you can just add it to the presentation like that. And it tells you that you've successfully added it. We can then add another image rather, to that presentation. So just see, it's defaulted to that presentation, so we just add it. And so you can do this as many times as you want to until you've chosen all the images that you want to use, and then you can view your presentation. So we'll just add one more. So now if I want to create the presentation, if I want to download the presentation, just download it to PowerPoint. And it may look a bit different on some people's laptops. When I download it, it just sort of pops it down in the bottom corner here, but it's done it slightly differently here, so it depends on what sort of laptop you're using, I guess. So now we can open it in PowerPoint. Usually, well, it will require editing. I imagine that's what that means.
Yeah.
So you enable editing, and then you can manipulate it however you want to. You can, for example, you can move the copyright information further down. You can add a text box. You can enlarge the image if you want to, move it around, etc. Add a text box over here. So it's quite able to be manipulated, and then you would just save it to wherever whichever folder you want to save it to. So we'll just go back to the platform now. No, not there. Okay. So there are your presentations. We'll just go back to browse resources and we'll look at videos. So we've got about 850 videos in all different specialties. So you can just filter on different specialty areas. So play a video for you. Radiology video. I don't know if you've got your sound turned up on this, Katrine, have you?
No, we don't have it.
Oh, okay.
No. But,
Yeah. So some of the videos are just visual. A lot of them have text, voiceover as well. So some of them are very short. Some of them are longer. You can also go full screen if you want to. Okay. So then we'll just go back to home. A really good way of finding videos and images for a specific book, if you're looking for one, is to just type in the name of the book. So McLeod's is one that a lot of people use, particularly in the UK. McLeod's. Oh, here's the McLeod's chemical examination. No. Seems to have lost my history. So let's see what we've got here. So you can see that there's we've got 27 videos here for McLeod's, and that is a book that's used a lot in med schools, where the videos teach students how to do clinical examinations of patients. So we'll just have a look at this one here and show you how that works.
Hello, my name's Ben. Mind if I examine you?
Expose the lower limbs as much as possible with regard to the patient's comfort and dignity. Look for asymmetry or deformities proximally and distally. Examine for wasting, hypertrophy, fasciculation, and...
So all of the McLeod's videos are about 5 minutes each, and they're all about different types of examining patients rather. Okay, so if we just go back home again, and we'll just do a search for a particular topic. Try diabetes this time. You can see it starts to anticipate what I'm looking for. We call that the smart search. So again, on the right-hand side, we've got the quick access summary, and we can either scroll down to read it, or we can view the full topic. So the quick access summaries are ideal for early years students who are just getting into medicine or nursing or whatever, and it's just a synopsis basically of a disease, right from the definition, diagnosis, etc. And again, they're all hyperlinked down the side here, so you can just skip from one to the next. And very handy back to the top button. Okay, now these quick access summaries come from 2 different books, so they're very highly regarded internal medicine books. So you've got Goldman, Cecil and Berry's Clinical Advisor, and for students who are researching a specific topic, they're really good synopsis of the topic. So if we just go back So if we go back to the book, the Davidson's book, so we've got a chapter on diabetes in Davidson's. So you can just read the chapter on the platform like this if you want to. You can click through to all the different sections of that chapter if you want to. But then if you think that this is a book I'm going to use a lot, and then that would be the time to put it into your bookshelf. So you just launch the bookshelf, and it opens up in another tab. So this is the online bookshelf, as opposed to the Windows 10 offline one I mentioned before. So it's opened it up in the bookshelf. If I then go to, I can go to the table of contents here, and you can search the table of contents. So you've got several search functions in the bookshelf. So you can search the table of contents for, I'll look for something that I know is there because I can see it. Excuse my typing. So you can see I've started to type fundamentals, so it's come up with fundamentals of medicine. So that particular search box there, the one in the table of contents, will find chapter headings or chapter subheadings, okay? But you've got another search function just below here, which searches that whole book. So I'll search for something like, I'll search for Mendel, because I can see I'm in a genetics chapter here. So it doesn't mention Mendel, that's interesting. If I look for DNA. So you can see it's found it already, you can just scroll through, and they're all hyperlinked, so you can just go straight to the section of the book that's and you can see they're all highlighted throughout the book, so it's very easy to see where all your answers are. Okay, so then we've got the notebook. You can see I've got some notes in here and highlights that have been shared with me by a colleague. So you can see I've got quite a lot of them actually. So the ones that are underlined like this have been shared with me by other people. The highlights that you make yourself are in solid colour, so it's easy to differentiate between them. You can see the ones that have come from other people also have their little initials on the. You can see LS there is from my colleague Louisa Sutton. So she has shared those notes and highlights with me. So I'll show you how to make a note and a highlight here. I've got your quick. And then if I click on it, I can make a note. So, I'll just call it Untitled. And the notes save themselves. You don't have to do. There's no save button. So you've got all different coloured highlighters here. So you can change them if you want to. So then. You can see the note the highlight that I've just made here. And then you've got your images, the images from every chapter. So you just click through, and as you click through, it you get closer and closer to the text where you'll find that image. So there it is. And flashcards. So to create a set of flashcards, just type in the name. And then you add flashcards. I know that I've been told that medical students in particular use flashcards a lot to do their revision. So it's really easy just to type your question on the front of the card. Type the answer on the back of the card. I'm afraid I don't have a lot of medical knowledge to be creating really good clinical flashcards. So it's a very simple process. So that's how that works. Okay. I don't know why the fast highlighter isn't showing at the bottom. So anyway. So if we go to our home button, so this shows us all the books that we've got in our bookshelf. So you can see I've got a lot here. Principles and Practice of Surgery, and so you've got your tools here. So with the highlighters, like I mentioned before, you've got about 10 different colours, and you can see I've created a lot of different ones for different presentations that I've done. So you can add a new highlighter. You can see you've got 10 different colours here. Playful purple. We don't have to keep calling it that. It's called NTNU. And if you click the public box, that's for highlighters and notes that you want to share with other people. Because you don't have to share all of them, obviously. You can keep a lot of notes and highlights just for your own use. So if you want them to be able to be shared with other students or colleagues or whatever, then tick the public box and it'll put like a little head in it. So then you'll be able to tell easily. which type it is, and it's very easy just to remove a highlighter permanently, just delete it like that. Okay. And then you've got your sharing function. So you can see I've got a few colleagues there people that I'm following. But with my followers, so all I need to do is just copy this link and then paste it to be on my clipboard, and then paste it into an email and send it to, like if you're working in a tutorial group and you want to share all your notes with each other, then you can just send it to everyone else in the group, and then they click on the link, and the one thing is that they need to have those books in their library. So if, for example, you don't already have Davidson's in your library and someone wants to share their notes, then you need to add Davidson's from the platform. Okay? Update your library, just updates with anything you've just added, like anything I've added today. So, and then just go back to the platform, home button. You can go straight to your bookshelf from the home page by just clicking there. But you need to have books in there first. So if you've never saved a book to your bookshelf, you'll have to do that first. But once you've got books in there, you can just launch your bookshelf from the home page. That's it. You've also got, it just shows you how many devices you've got ClinicalKey Student on. So you can have it on 3 devices, on a laptop, iPad and phone if you want to. You can see I've got the desktop back there. And with the notes and highlights, you can use your own language to make your notes with. So you can find your region. So if you prefer to make your notes in your own language, then that's good. I mean, for most people here, English will be their second language. So put it back to English though, because I don't speak any Norwegian. So you've got the support button here as well, which takes you straight to the help. There's a lot of FAQs on here you'll find, and further assistance. You can either email, live chat, or phone. So if you're having trouble with, like if your books aren't showing up properly, or if you've got any issues at all, just go straight to the help desk. Just going back to the bookshelf, the search box for the entire bookshelf is the one at the top here. So, I know I've got some genetics books in my library, so I always look for Mendel. So it brings them all up and tells you how many results are in each book. So then you can just go straight to the book, and it will list them all with hyperlinks. So you just click on it, and it will take you to the book table of contents. And then you can just click through like we did before to find all the different mentions of Mendel, and again they're all highlighted, so they're really easy to see. I mean, he's a very obvious choice for genetics, but I can still remember learning about Mendel and his peas when I was at school. So yeah. Any other questions?